Hello everybody. Welcome back to Wisdom Falls with Ayanda Borotho. It has indeed been a while, and I believe that you have been keeping safe and keeping well also in this challenging pandemic times. Do let us know what has been keeping you busy and how you have been coping. We would like to know. Thank you so much once again for tuning in into our first episode after an awesome rest that we have taken up to this point. In our previous book reviews, we looked at beautiful autobiographies, and at the end, we looked at Unbecoming to Become by Ayanda Borotho. And you can remember that we only did the part 1 of the video, and today we want to do the part 2 of Unbecoming to Become. And in part 1, we looked at the powerful force of a woman and how can this force work for a woman and even against her, and the legacy of a woman in her or for her generations. And today in the part 2 of the video, we want to be able to look at the woman at work, the woman at home, as well as the definition of a woman. How do we define ourselves as women in the society before even the society can define us? Stay tuned as we get into the depth and the discussion of this awesome book. Ayanda Borotho is an amazing queen in her own right. She is a phenomenal woman, a friend, a sister, a mother, and a wife. Ayanda was born and raised in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, and she later moved to Johannesburg to work in the corporate space, and later on realized her dream as an actress in the entertainment industry. So now that we know who Ayanda Borotho is, we will jump right into our lessons for today. And the first lesson that we learn while we read Unbecoming to Become in the part 2 is the value of the woman in the workplace. As women, it is important for us to understand what value we are bringing, and that must be defined by ourselves. Let us not let the environment of work tell us what value we bring as women. Do you know your value as a woman? Ayanda was working in the corporate space where she played a very significant role in the projects that uplifted the community. And in these projects, they realized that they needed the perspective of a woman to know how to connect and touch different lives. Imagine if that board of directors did not have Ayanda to give that insight. And I believe that as women in this space, in this society, at this present moment, there is a significant role that we are playing. By the way we reason, by the way we connect, and how we also see things, our perspective is very powerful. And secondly, we see Ayanda in the entertainment industry also playing a very important role in her space. However, Ayanda highlights the challenges that women continue to fight, especially in the entertainment industry, when they interact with their male counterparts, to a point that sometimes women have to offer their physical bodies as price or payment, or even a negotiation tactic at some point. But really, is it still necessary, especially at this day and age, where we understand the equality of men and women? We are all the same, right? Well, you would think that we should be. When we get into those boardrooms, when we get into those projects, we have to offer the same intellectual capacity. However, it does not look like that in the corporate space or even in the entertainment industry, as Ayanda has highlighted. And I believe that some of us as women, we can testify to this or even have solutions. Do post your comments on how we can address these issues or even support each other as women at workplace. The second point that we want to address while we read Unbecoming to Become is the aspect of the woman at home. Now, as we mentioned that Ayanda is married and she has a beautiful family, we will start first to look at women who are married, women at home. Ayanda highlights a very important aspect that women tend to forget while in marriage, that they too are important, right? They get used to holding the family together so much that they forget that actually I need to count as well. In fact, I need to think about myself first before I think about pouring into others. Like we know the famous saying, you cannot pour out of an empty cup. So we find women who are married or women at home tending to focus more on the needs of others. The needs of the husband, the needs of the children, more than the needs of themselves. To a point that when they get exhausted, the point of resentment starts to kick in and they don't know how to respond in times of emotional stress and emotional strain. Now, Ayanda is making us aware of this fact to say that as women at home, you need to come first. You need to think about yourself as well as now thinking about the needs of others. And very interestingly is that not only women who are married at home who do this, even us single women, sometimes we find ourselves entangled in matters that we need to address, be it from family, be it from work, and we put these matters first because we don't have a husband to go home to or kids to take care of or to fetch from school. We find ourselves working too long, many hours that we invest. And even if a family member maybe asks for some money, you don't think about your needs. You think about, oh, maybe they need it more because they have kids, right? Nah, fam. We need to hold on a bit. You also need to take care of yourself. You need to invest in yourself. You need to rest when time comes. So as women, we need to allow ourselves to think about ourselves even at home so that we can be the people that we have to be from home to work and in the society. Now, the final and last lesson that we learn for today is the definition of a woman in the society. I love the fact that we said in the society because ultimately that's how it comes about, right? However, it's important to see that as a fruit, but there is a root where I need to define myself in my own space. I need to understand my principles. I need to understand my values. I need to understand who am I outside of the titles of being a mother, of being a wife, of being a friend, a sister, and a colleague. Who am I at the core? What are some of these things that when push comes to shove, I will not decide against them? What is it that I value, which I bring to the society as well? How am I building my home in the way that it mirrors even in my children's life? Am I even able to transfer these values to my children? Or there are things that I do in my private space that I wish they cannot see? So this is the lesson that we are taking from Ayanda. She made sure that she invested in herself and invested in her gifts so that if anything else was to fail, she will still stand. And actually, this is what Ayanda says in page 349 of her book, Unbecoming to Become, when she speaks about her gifts. She says, "My power lay in my purpose and not my popularity. If the gift is served, the purpose will be sustained. And where purpose is motive, influence will manifest." It is so important to see the emphasis of the purpose and your gift in this life more than anything else. We are not saying as a woman, don't build wealth, don't acquire beautiful things. You know, we like finer things. We want handbags and shoes and mansions. That is important for our happiness, right? However, what legacy are we building? What are we transferring to the next generation as women? Let us arise as a strong woman of impact, women of influence, queens that truly reign. We can do it in this present time, in this present moment. Now, thank you for watching our book review of Unbecoming to Become by Ayanda Borotho. I wish we could continue, but this is all that we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and have taken some lessons as well. Do share in your comments what you have also been learning. And you can also obtain a copy of your own book to obtain further lessons, right? and come back to share with us as well. Now remember, at Wisdom Falls, we are obtaining wisdom one book at a time. My name is Ayanda Borotho. Stay blessed.